Hello and welcome to a new English conversation video. As you can see, today Livia and I are not in the same frame. That's because I am currently at home in Germany to help out with a new apartment I will be moving into. So today our topic is reflection, because this is the last English video and we've been here in the Czech Republic for a year almost. So of course we learned some new things, we had a lot of exciting new memories, and we tried out new things, and today we have three main questions that Livia and I both want to answer. So the first one will be what did we expect before coming here? What were the things we thought? What did we think here our experience will be like? The second question is how was it really? Where our expectations met? What was different maybe? And the last question is what did we learn from it? So any new things we will take with us. Okay, so let's go.
Before arriving in Pilsen, I honestly didn't know exactly what to expect. I had never lived in Czech Republic, I didn't speak Czech, and this was going to be my first long-term experience abroad. I knew the volunteering project was about intergenerational communication, and I imagined I will be doing some workshops or maybe helping out with early or seniors at events. I expected to learn a new culture, maybe improve my English, and hopefully meet people from other countries. But what I didn't expect was how intense, emotional, and enriching it will be, all this. Also, this is something I still laugh about. I didn't expect to live in Pilsen with a German roommate, to be working in English while learning Czech all at once. My brain has been like in 3 languages non-stop.
So, on to the first question, what did I expect? To be honest, this year was my first time living away from home, in my own apartment, without my parents. So I kind of expected that I would have more trouble, or that I would feel a bit more uncomfortable. Also because, of course, I was living with basically a stranger. Livia and I had talked before, but never in person, so I didn't know what the feeling would be like exactly. So I expected the living situation, so the apartment, to be a bit more tense and more quiet because we didn't know each other. That's the first thing. The second thing is that I thought that I would be very nervous before every conversation class, just because I was a person that didn't really enjoy speaking in front of a group of people. And the last thing would probably be the food, because I am a vegetarian and I kind of expected that I couldn't try a lot of things in the Czech cuisine, which I enjoyed as a child when I was eating meat, because the Czech cuisine is very meat heavy in my experience. But nowadays, of course, there are a lot of meat-free options. Yeah, so these are the things I expected. I also expected that I will have a few problems with the language, because I don't or didn't speak any Slavic language, so I didn't have any experiences with this language family. But now the question, of course, is how was it really? And I have to say, with the living situation, what I talked about first, there weren't almost no troubles, I have to say, because Livia and I sat down directly on the first evening when we met each other and talked about some ground things in the apartment, like cleaning, grocery shopping, so the basics, that we were clear on that front, and there was no tension between us because of this. The other thing with the language, I pretty much learned the basics quite fast because we also had our regular Czech lessons 2 times a week, so that definitely helped. And nowadays I don't have any problems with like food shopping or ordering in a restaurant, just because I know the vocabulary for that, and that's not a problem anymore. And the other thing with the conversation classes, it's true that I was very nervous probably before the first and the second conversation, I would say, but as soon as I got to know all of the people in my course, I got more chilled because I knew them, and I think the vibe was very good in our classes. It was great fun to have these conversations, so I didn't have to be worried about them at all.
Now let me tell you what my daily life here was actually like, because it was full of activity, laugh and challenges. At Totem, I work mainly with seniors. We did Nordic walking sessions where we would walk together in nature and chat, which was a beautiful way to connect and keep active. We also had a dance group with Adeto, where I dance with the ladies every week, every Monday. We learned styles like swing, mambo italiano, flamenco and bocce, and it was so much fun and full of energy. On Tuesday and Fridays, we had Czech lessons, 2.5 hours each day, so 5 hours per week. And let me tell you, like, learning Czech is not easy, especially in English, but I tried hard, and slowly I start understanding more and more, and I'm very proud of that. Then on Wednesdays we had cooking sessions. We prepare traditional desserts together with the ladies, and later they were sold in Totem cafeteria. That time in the kitchen was so nice, full of stories, laughs and teamwork. Also, every Wednesday and Thursday we lead language conversation sessions. On Wednesday I was co-leading the English group with my German roommate, and on Thursday we lead another English session, and then I lead the Spanish conversation group by myself. Every week we choose a topic, send it by email and discuss it with the group, and it was always something fun and interesting. Not only that, but we also created monthly videos for YouTube, one in English together, and then another one in my own in Spanish language. And every 2 months we wrote blog entries about our volunteer life and Totem life here in Pilsen. So yeah, it was a lot, but it was always full of meaning and amazing stuff to do and to learn. And on top of that, living with my German flatmate, who was also my co-worker and friend, made this experience even more special. I have learned so much, not just about the Czech Republic, but also about Germany, German culture, and what it means to live and work closely with someone from a different background.
Now the last question, what did I learn? I think the biggest thing from this year would probably be talking is everything. Always communicate, because the easiest thing to solve anything is just talking about it. Also what I mentioned with Livia already, like sitting down and talking in the first evening, that was, I think, the best thing we could have done, just because it's like avoiding, not even avoiding, but it's solving so many conflicts, or like things that could be a conflict. So it prevented that. The other thing with the language would probably be that even if you don't understand the other person, because my Czech vocabulary is not as much or as full as I would like it to be, there's always a way to communicate, even if it's with hands and feet, you know, or you have a phone and you can use a translation app. So there's always a way, and it's important that you don't avoid the situations where you have to talk. Just let it out. And in my head I always thought, yeah, I will probably never see these people again, so even if my Czech is not good, at least I tried. And the last thing is, of course, about the conversations. What I learned or will take with me is probably to just always be open, even if you are like afraid or nervous of it. Just go into the situation, see how it goes, and then, yeah, be open for everything and willing to learn. Because in these conversations I learned so many random things that I think I will also use, like from recipes to travel tips, history. So these are things I will definitely take with me, because they are interesting and I don't think I would learn them otherwise. So these conversations were not only for the seniors helpful, but also to me. And yeah, I think this is the main part, really.
Now, looking back at this year, wow, I have learned so much more than I ever imagined. I have learned how to communicate across generation, how to listen better, how to organize and lead group activities, how to adapt, how to live away from home, and how to be independent. I have discovered new things about myself, like how much I love dancing, cooking with others, and connecting through languages. I have also learned that I can survive in a city where I didn't know anyone, in a country where I didn't speak the language, and build a life from zero. This experience has changed me. I feel stronger, more open-minded, more aware of what matters, and I'm incredibly grateful for everything I have lived, even the difficult moments, because they helped me to grow. And what's next? Well, I'm going to Ireland soon to work in a kindergarten with a friend, and I'm super nervous, but very also very excited. A new beginning, a new challenge, and I feel ready thanks to this year.